The bustling Lagos market welcomed a new face, a charming young man selling fried rice and half wings. His stall, adorned with vibrant colours and enticing aromas, quickly became a favourite among the locals. Everyone admired his skills, especially his ability to make the wings perfectly crispy while keeping the rice flavourful. Little did they know, behind the guise of this charismatic vendor lay a secret as slippery as it was dangerous. Unbeknownst to the crowd, the vendor was not human, but a young python using ancient magic to disguise itself. The python had lived in the nearby swamp, fascinated by human life and their obsession with food. One fateful night, it overheard a street performer boasting about the fortune to be made in the market. The python decided to risk everything, learning to cook from observing humans before venturing into their world with its culinary creations. Mama Bola, the jollof rice seller, noticed the new vendor immediately. Her spot was just across the street, and her business had suffered since his arrival. Customers who once praised her jollof now flocked to the python vendor, as she secretly nicknamed him due to his slithery movements and unnervingly smooth sales pitch. Mama Bola's two loyal dogs, Bruno and Bella, growled every time he was near. Their reaction piqued her curiosity. One evening, after closing shop, she decided to follow him. Keeping a safe distance, she watched as he ventured toward the edge of the market, where few dared to tread. Her instincts told her something wasn't right, but what she saw next left her frozen in fear. As Mama Bola crouched in the shadows, she watched the vendor shed his human form. The smooth skin gave way to glistening scales as the young man transformed into a python. His long, serpentine body coiled gracefully under the moonlight. Stunned, Mama Bola could barely suppress a gasp. Bruno and Bella growled softly but stayed by her side. Though terrified, Mama Bola's fear turned to fascination. How could a creature so feared by humans master the art of cooking and gain the trust of an entire market? She decided to confront him, but only when the time was right. The next morning, Mama Bola approached the vendor's stall. Her heart raced, but she masked her fear with a warm smile. "Your rice is good, but I have a feeling your recipe has a special ingredient," she said cryptically. The vendor froze, his usually confident demeanor faltering. "What do you mean, Mama?" he asked, his voice steady but his eyes wary. She leaned closer and whispered, "I know what you are." Before he could respond, a crowd gathered, drawn by the tension. Mama Bola walked away, leaving him shaken but determined to protect his secret. That night, the python reflected on how it had come to this point. It remembered its life in the swamp, where it had been just another snake trying to survive. But its curiosity about humans and their vibrant culture led it to the market. The magic that allowed it to transform was a gift from a wandering sorcerer who had seen the python's longing for a different life. Now the python faced a dilemma. If exposed, it would lose everything it had worked for. It resolved to approach Mama Bola in secret and seek her understanding. Mama Bola was startled to find the python, this time in its true form, slithering outside her home late one evening. Bruno and Bella barked furiously, but she calmed them. The python spoke in a voice both soothing and sincere. "I mean no harm. I only wish to live among humans." Mama Bola listened as it explained its journey and its love for cooking. Against her better judgment, she agreed not to expose it, for now. But she warned, "If you bring harm to anyone in this market, I'll have no choice but to reveal the truth." Mama Bola kept her word, though she couldn't help but feel uneasy. She watched the vendor closely, noticing how he avoided questions about his past and steered clear of the market at night. Meanwhile, the python worked harder to blend in, charming customers and even helping other vendors. But rumors began to spread. Some claimed they saw the vendor heading toward the swamp after dark. Others swore his eyes glowed in the moonlight. Mama Bola worried that the truth would come out sooner rather than later. Bruno and Bella, ever vigilant, took matters into their own paws. One evening, they followed the python to its hiding spot near the swamp. What they found confirmed Mama Bola's fears. The python was practicing shedding its human form, coiling and uncoiling with precision. The dogs returned to Mama Bola, their frantic barks telling her all she needed to know. She realized the python's secret was more precarious than she'd thought. If anyone else discovered the truth, the consequences could be catastrophic. Word spread about the mysterious vendor. and the market began buzzing with speculation. Some vendors noticed strange movements or an odd shimmer in the vendor's eyes. Customers whispered about how his food seemed almost too perfect. Mama Bola tried to deflect attention, but the market was restless. "Mark my words," said an elderly spice seller. "There's something not right about that boy." The python felt the weight of their suspicion and knew it had to act carefully to avoid discovery. Just as the python was beginning to regain control of the situation, a new vendor arrived, a woman selling grilled fish. Her name was Ada, and her sharp wit and business acumen made her an instant favorite. She immediately took notice of the python's stall and began asking pointed questions about his background. Ada's curiosity was dangerous. She seemed to sense that the vendor was hiding something and was determined to uncover the truth. The python found itself facing a formidable new adversary. The market announced its annual Jollof Festival, a grand event where vendors competed to showcase their best dishes. The python saw this as an opportunity to win over the market and silence the rumors. Mama Bola, however, feared the added attention could expose its secret. Despite her warnings, the python decided to participate. It worked tirelessly, perfecting its recipe and preparing for the festival. The stakes had never been higher. During the festival, Ada kept a watchful eye on the python. At one point, she claimed to have seen scales on the vendor's neck. She demanded an explanation, but the python laughed it off, attributing it to spilled sauce. The crowd seemed convinced, but Ada wasn't so easily fooled. Mama Bola intervened, distracting Ada with a plate of her famous jollof. The python managed to slip away, but the incident left it shaken.